Hi, and welcome back to Rain or Shine Gardening. I'm Katie, and I have my helper,
Carlie.
Carlie, here with me today. And any day that I have a helper in the garden is a good day, right?
Yeah,
You like helping mom sometimes. Okay,
sometimes.
sometimes. Depends on the garden chore, right?
Yeah.
Well, today we are anxious to see what we grew for our potatoes this year. And I was late getting my potatoes planted this year, just didn't get around to it. But they were all really green. They had a lot of foliage and they have died back. As you can see with this one here, it's lost quite a bit. And I know there are some that could have gone longer. I did have them in one place and then I moved all the bags to a place with a little less sun. So this might actually be a questionable harvest.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're going to get, if we're going to get anything. But one thing I have noticed lately is that we're buying a lot of potatoes from the store because we
Yeah.
like potatoes
Yeah.
and I don't want to buy them from the store. So we decided to see what we have here, even if we've got some little tiny potatoes.
I like
It'll,
to just eat them.
you like to just eat them. Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll just bake them, maybe put some olive oil, salt, and pepper on them and just eat them. When they were little, used to call them, do you remember what you called them?
No.
Dragon eggs. Remember the potatoes when they were little? Anyway, so we are going to see what we grew in our grow bags for potatoes. So we have done grow bags every year
Yeah.
for our potatoes, and some years we've had a lot of luck, some years less. But today we're just going to see how this went. Um, they also grew up high enough that I wasn't able to add more soil because there was so much foliage that grew up past the bags. So we do have less dirt than previous years. Anyway, I'm just not super confident of what we'll get, but I think anything is better than nothing,
Yeah.
right? We almost didn't get them planted at all. So anything we get today is better. And we do have, Carlie has some snips. So she's going to help me cut off the rest of the stems. And then what our process is going to be, I really like the bags because it's so easy for harvest. And I'll show you what I mean when we get in and we start harvesting some of this. But all you have to do is dump the bag and then sort through to find the potatoes. It's a lot easier than digging if you plant your potatoes in the ground. So I found I like this method a lot better. And you might hear my chickens in the background because we're right by the chicken coop today, but they're begging for more, even though they received a lot of treats already this morning. So what we're going to do is just dump the bag over where we have gloves so that we can sort through and not get splinters and things from the dirt. But we're going to pull out all the potatoes. And then what happens is the dirt's going to fall down underneath. We're going to pull the potatoes out and we're going to have a wheelbarrow. So actually, this is my gorilla cart wagon. We're going to have a wagon full of dirt at the end that we can use for other things. So just adding a little bit of supplemental nutrients in, and then we can plant up some new things. So this is going to be great because we're going to end up with a bunch of dirt to use in other places in the garden. We're going to end up cross our fingers with potatoes. And then we'll be able to clean out our grow bags and have them ready for next season. So before we get started, I did want to explain just a little bit about what I use to sift through. And it's something that is super easy if you want to create something like this for your um, yeah, it's actually from another chicken coop that we used, but all it
I only have
is
three.
hardware cloth here. So you can see it's just a wire mesh and it's stapled on the bottom of a wood frame. And it's just, I think it's 1/2 inch hardware cloth. And then all I did was I just screwed some fence boards to the outside of it just so the dirt didn't fall over. So it's kind of contained in here. It's not perfect. There's some dirt that falls out, but it's almost the perfect size of our gorilla cart wagon. So it just sits right on top and we're able to push through and find the potatoes really easily. It sifts through and makes some nice light fluffy soil too. So that's what we're going to use
And the
today.
potatoes just way on top.
Yeah, so you're able to pick them up and just my microphone battery ended up dying here and all we were saying was that this nice little mesh wire rack ends up making it super easy for us to pull out the potatoes, see them easily, and then to get a lot of really nice soil that we can reuse down in the bottom of the gorilla cart. So, we were just mentioning also that we were excited to pick our first bag and to start harvesting. So, here we are just dumping that first bag into the wagon and to see what we can pull out. All right, we are done harvesting for today. We do have more bags of potatoes. We have 4 or 5 more bags. But what we decided to do was harvest all of the bags that either didn't have any foliage left at all or had completely dried out foliage. So the bags that we have left still have some green leaves on
Yeah.
them. And we're going to let those kind of continue to grow or continue to kind of grow the size of the potato because we harvested quite a bit. So we ended up harvesting 4 bags, and this is how many potatoes we got, which is more, honestly, than I thought we were going to get with how
Yeah.
late we planted them, and then they got a little bit disrupted part way through the season. But we have quite a few, and I'm
Yeah.
surprised how big some of them
I
are.
know.
Like
That
this one's
was.
the size of a baseball
I
almost.
know.
Yeah, so what we're gonna do
Size of
is
a
go ahead and
baseball.
eat off of these. And then in a few weeks, after some of the other bugs kind of die out a little bit, then we will harvest those. And what we did was we screened all of that soil that was in these bags. So instead of just dumping the soil somewhere, we're actually going to reuse that. And
For the
what we
next
can do is
potatoes.
what?
For the next
For the
potatoes.
next potatoes, that'll be next year. I think I have some things in mind actually before then that I'm going to use the soil for. So, since the potatoes used a lot of the nutrients to grow that's in the soil, I'm probably going to put some biotone in to kind of replenish some of those nutrients. when I reuse this soil, but I have some ideas for some things that I want to propagate this fall when I kind of divide some things. I've got some hostas and I've got some of the lamb's ear. Remember the really fuzzy
Yeah,
lamb's
I
ear?
love those.
So I'm going to use some quart sized pots that I have saved from the springtime and re energize this soil and use it for some of my plant dividing that I'm going to be doing this fall. So I'll be able to reuse the soil. We'll eat on these potatoes, and then coming up here in the next couple weeks, we'll work on harvesting the rest of them. So, thank you so much to Carlie for being my helper out here. I think harvesting potatoes might be one of
My favorite
your favorite
things.
things to do? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of like finding gold, especially when you're harvesting Yukon Gold potatoes. But yeah, we got quite a few. Now we're gonna have some tasty dinners coming up. We'll be able to eat these potatoes, and yeah, rain or shine, we will see you in the next one.